My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Please go ahead and share my latest article in the Daily Caller, Free Julian Assange. That is in the description section. In the pinned comment, I have my latest segment on H.A. Second Amendment. It is me enjoying safely and responsibly and abiding by YouTube policies a 500 Smith & Wesson 10.5-inch barrel handgun, 50 caliber Smith & Wesson round, designed for that handgun, and it is said to be the most powerful handgun in the world. I'm enjoying it in an indoor range, and it's just awesome. Please go ahead, especially if you're interested in firearms and gun channels, subscribe to HA Second Amendment and check out that segment that is below in the pinned comment. And it was a great time. If you've ever wondered about the recoil and what the gun looks like and all that, just watch the segment. I tried to handle it the best, in the best way possible. It's actually the length of the barrel and the weight of the gun soaks up a lot of the recoil, so it's actually it's a joy to shoot, and it's just really wonderful. This is groundbreaking. This is breaking news just minutes ago. I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI, DOJ, infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. Game over. This is game over. President Obama, Hillary Clinton, the Democratic Party, Peter Strzok with an insurance policy talking about he can't take the risk of a Trump presidency. It's not Strzok's, it wasn't the FBI or Comey's or McCabe's decision whether or not to take a risk. If anyone was elected president, it's nobody's business. Only the American people can decide. And we have the Electoral College. So if you're upset with the Electoral College, then pass some legislation or push legislation to abolish the Electoral College. What they were saying, oh, let's abolish the, then do it. That didn't happen. Immigration reform, that didn't. No sweeping legislation from Democrats. Gun control, no sweeping legislation. They just want to yap all the time. Trump's foreign policy, peace between North and South Korea, pretty good. At least we're on the way. At least we're a lot closer than we were prior. But this is big. I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI, DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. This is the end of the Mueller probe. This is the beginning of the end of the beginning of the end already took place for the Democratic Party. They're already only 4 points up in the midterms. And we already know that Loretta Lynch met with, well, where do I start? Okay. Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Hillary Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. Peter Strzok deleted 5 references to gross negligence during the Clinton email investigation. He also typed, with his own hands, a text message to Lisa Page regarding a meeting they had at Andrew McCabe's office about an insurance policy called Trump Russia. And not only that, they said they couldn't take the risk of a Trump presidency and that he was a menace. You have Andrew McCabe receiving $700,000 from Terry McAuliffe. Andrew McCabe is now... there are formal criminal charges that were recommended for McCabe, and formal criminal charges. He lied under oath 4 times, and he went ahead and lied under oath twice, lied a total of 4 times. Gosh, with these liars, you get like so mixed up. He's been thrown under the bus. James Comey has thrown him under the bus. James Comey is willing to testify against his former number 2 before he was even charged, before he's been even charged with the crime. James Comey lied under oath numerous times, mainly about exonerating Clinton before her interview. He is under oath and on record as stating that he did not make his decision to exonerate Clinton before the interview. He did so before the interview. Okay, and before 16 other witnesses. He also stated that he couldn't interview Anthony Weiner because, he also lied under oath here, he couldn't interview Anthony Weiner because Weiner had pending legal issues. But that's ridiculous. The FBI usually loves to add on the pain and extra counts, of criminal statutes broken. So they knew of Anthony Weiner's laptop with classified intelligence long before the public knew. All of this is under the backdrop of GCHQ. It's under the umbrella or the shadow of GCHQ spying on Trump in 2015, finding nothing. Now there's an FBI mole. The FBI mole within the Trump campaign is Stephen Halper. He was also implicated in a 1980 election meddling scheme. He was a CIA operative that spied on Jimmy Carter's campaign. Okay, and then you have that. So Stephen Halper was one of the people who then justified James Comey's use of the Steele dossier, because Glenn Simpson during testimony stated that Christopher Steele told him that when the FBI was talking to him, they could corroborate some of what he was saying from their inside source, which was Stephen Halper. But this is all nonsense. These are all alibis. It's all a bunch of alibis, a bunch of bureaucratic sidesteps or bureaucratic justifications. There's nothing there in the Steele dossier. Why? Because BuzzFeed is suing the DNC for evidence, because it's being sued with defamation lawsuits are being leveled against it. Now, if this isn't complicated enough, I'm all over the place, but this whole entire scandal is all over the place. These are numerous scandals all rolled into one. The Clinton email investigation was part of Trump Russia, because what better way to remove responsibility from Hillary Clinton for transferring top secret and special access program intelligence from Cybernet, JWICs, and SCIFs onto her once unencrypted server? What better way than to say, well, Trump Jr. wanted to work with a Russian lawyer who, by the way, met with Fusion GPS's Glenn Simpson before and after the meeting. But what better way than to say, well, he wanted dirt on Hillary, her emails. But notice that if you have a state.gov, nobody gets your emails. Even if that were true, he never received any emails, number one. And number two, it wouldn't have been a crime to get Clinton's emails, unless they were top secret emails, in which case you would then ask how Clinton's top secret emails were transferred or removed outside the US government and into the hands of Russians. You see, if you take their ridiculous narratives to a logical conclusion, Trump Jr. would only be in trouble if he was wanting, or if he desired classified Clinton emails or top secret Clinton emails. If he was promised top secret Clinton emails, which he wasn't, he was just the generic Clinton emails, then one would have to ask how top secret or classified intelligence got in the hands of Russians. Well, they hacked the server. Her server is located in the basement of her home. We know this because Defense Secretary Robert Gates says it's almost certain that Iran, China, and Russia hacked her servers. So now you have a situation where James Comey was fired for his handling of the Clinton email investigation, because he should never have, and this is why he was fired, he should never have stated, well, I looked into her eyes, just like when George Bush said he looked into Putin's eyes and he saw, serenity, or somebody he could work with, trustworthiness. And James Comey, who is now this forever this reptilian slimy liar, looked into Hillary Clinton's eyes and said, well, you know what, I see honesty, or she didn't mean to transfer top secret intelligence. So during his press conference on July 5th, 2016, He stated all her crimes. He listed all her crimes. Yes, she did this. Yes, hostile actors could have hacked in. Yes, 110 email chains were born classified. That's another issue. They change the narrative all the time. Well, it's retroactive classification. How is she to know? How is she to know? She knew once she received one email from the State Department or DOJ or Department of Defense or anywhere in the U.S. government. She knew that email could be retroactively classified. She also lied to Peter Strzok by saying that she thought the C meant confidential. Or sorry, she didn't know what the C meant. She literally didn't know what the C meant. It's confidential, secret, top secret. Those are the three main classifications. She thought it meant catnip or casserole. So, but all of this is part of when Trump says, I hereby demand and will do so officially tomorrow that the Justice Department look into whether or not the FBI and DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. This implicates Susan Rice, Samantha Power, because they unmasked names. This implicates James Comey. This implicates Andrew McCabe and Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. This implicates Christopher Steele, who's already being sued. Fusion GPS, they're already being sued. Glenn Simpson, he might be at Fusion GPS. BuzzFeed, it implicates all of these people, journalists who are part of leaks, not whistleblowing leaks, just politically motivated leaks. And then it implicates Robert Mueller, because there's a uranium deal that he presided over when he was FBI director, and he allowed yellow cake uranium to be shipped out of the country. That's in the New York Times. Everything I say is backed up. When I say Special Access Program Intelligence, that was an NBC News article that nobody paid attention to but me. So, Loretta Lynch is implicated in this. She told James Comey to call the Clinton email investigation a review or a matter. That made Comey queasy. Eventually, he wrote queasy memos. The memos, which Rod Rosenstein, the entire thing is absolutely ridiculous. The entire thing is absolutely ridiculous because you have a situation where, you have the memos of a liar stating that Trump intimidated him. This is all gossip and hearsay. This is also, by the way, a psychological response to WikiLeaks emails, because the truth was told about Hillary Clinton from her own writing and Debbie Wasserman Schultz from her own writing in DNC and Podesta emails. And what happened was they're like, well, if the truth is published about us, we're just going to publish fake news and lies. That'll be the same thing, but it'll be just as salacious. So they think, well, they don't have any truth to work with. They're like, well, how come Trump's emails weren't published? Because there wasn't a leak. They completely fabricated Trump Russia. The NSA is moderately confident. Nobody's read the ODNI and DHS reports. They just say the intelligence community and leave it at that. It's all these euphemisms. Intelligence community. You mean 2 reports. Then James Clapper stated there's no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. But now he's going to demand, Trump, who put that mole in my campaign? Why was he there? Who authorized it? Why did James Comey not corroborate the Steele dossier? If so, what did he use to back it up? Because BuzzFeed is getting sued right now, and they're suing the DNC. They need evidence. What is Loretta Lynch's role in all of this? She allowed Natalia Veselnitskaya to come into this country. Did she know at that point that this person was this Russian operative? So was the DOJ under Obama inept? Or did they just preside over a Russian operative just speaking to presidential candidates' sons and, just doing whatever she wanted to do? You can't have it both ways. You can't say that this Kremlin operative met with Trump Jr. Well, who allowed the Kremlin operative into the country? Well, it was Obama and Lynch who allowed her into the country. Oh, okay, so they're implicated? Well, kind of. No, not really. Because she's this Kremlin operative. Ooh. Well, then why did Glenn Simpson meet before and after with Natalia Veselnitskaya? Well, we don't know, but she's a Kremlin operative. So you mean to tell me that Natalia Veselnitskaya, the Russian lawyer, just a Russian lawyer, doesn't make you a Kremlin operative? Just like every Jewish person is not like part of the Mossad or, whatever. So a Russian lawyer who met before and after with Glenn Simpson, the Trump Jr. meeting, before and after, and was allowed into the country with a special visa by Loretta Lynch. Isn't Glenn Simpson and Loretta Lynch tied to this Russian, this Kremlin operative with direct links to Putin? Oh, well, that doesn't sound so good for Democrats. So Trump's going to ask about that. He's going to ask more about the Steele dossier. You know who Cody Shearer and Sidney Blumenthal are? Those are two Clinton operatives. They also helped compile, as reports show, there were reports that they helped compile the Steele dossier with Christopher Steele. Also, the issue of campaign finance violations, an egregious one, $9 million flowed through Perkins Coie, or $6 to $9 million. I forgot, I lost count of the millions. But she funneled money through her law firm. The law firm that she used, she paid for not only the Steele dossier, but CrowdStrike. Trump could destroy the whole thing just by investigating CrowdStrike. What about Professor Mifsud, the guy who's now AWOL? The guy he's nowhere to be found. The professor that tried to go ahead and recruit Papadopoulos. What about Papadopoulos? Put him in front of a congressional committee. I don't understand these like ridiculous. So Papadopoulos is like this huge figure now. Well, why isn't he in front of Congress? Mueller has indicted people. They're so stupid. They're like, look at the indictments. They have nothing to do. If you indicted somebody for jaywalking, it would have nothing to do with Russian collusion or Trump Russia or anything else. They've lost logic. They just are out for, political points. They think that, if you go ahead and political points are like, they think it's like, oh, well, look at these indictments. He's just as bad as Hillary. No, he's not. Hillary should have been indicted. Hillary should have been indicted. Trump is not even the target of a criminal probe. Hillary was. And everybody around Hillary, Cheryl Mills, Heather Samuelson, David Kendall, Brian Pagliano, who literally was subpoenaed and ripped up the subpoena, didn't go. Justin Cooper, people at CrowdStrike, people at Platte River, Dado. Why are the Democrats so into using outside tech firms? Ever wonder that? The Alwan Brothers, CrowdStrike, Dado Inc., Platte River, there's another Fusion GPS. They're always outsourcing firms. And I explained that in But Her Top Secret Emails, But Her Deleted Emails, the Alwan Brothers and W. Wasserman Schultz, and Debunking the Trump-Russia Myth. But Her Deleted Emails is also a very good one. But Her Top Secret and But Her Deleted Emails, it'll tell you everything you need to know. And it's just unbelievable. So now that's it. He's done. He's had enough. Trump has put his foot down. He has had enough. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Also, definitely, so let me finish my thought. Trump's going to, from now on, demand how this thing got started, which means an end to the Mueller probe. So you can kiss that goodbye. The Mueller probe is now, you almost should feel bad for Robert Mueller. So Mueller was like the source of power for Democrats. We're going to fight back. Ooh, we're going to fight back. Ooh, we're going to go ahead and it's Mueller time. Me love you, Mueller. That's what they would write on the message boards. Me love you, Mueller. It's so Mueller. You have nothing. You have nothing. You're going to lose the midterms and you're going to lose to Trump. And then you're going to be exposed, and right now Trump is going to expose you. I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow morning, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI and DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes. They did. Let me just, too long did not read that whole, they did. Obama presided over a massive cover-up with Clinton emails and infiltrating Trump's campaign. And they did so with not one shred of U.S. intelligence. They didn't find any evidence, but what they found is suspicion. And when you weaponize, I hate that word, but when you weaponize suspicion, you get Trump Russia. When you kill suspicion and, delete it from your memory or from the dictionary, you get the Clinton email investigation. No flipping and singing there. If there was an investigation where people needed to flip and sing, imagine what Brian Pagliano could tell people if he was facing years and years and years in prison. Of course, any other American would get that for transferring top secret special access program intelligence from SIPRNet or JWICS. So that's obvious. Anyone who is a veteran or active duty or has had a security clearance or knows anything about the intelligence community knows that if you transfer information, classified, forget about top secret, classified information, you're done. But what if you transfer top secret intelligence? Imagine if you transferred top secret special access program intelligence, the highest level classification, and the names of CIA agents, because she had that on her server. And the FBI wants her server, and she says, no, I'm not going to give it to you. And she gives it when she uses BleachBit and deletes everything on the server. She wiped it with a cloth. It's obvious, overt. The media hasn't been right yet about anything. And this is going to, Trump is like this one-man wrecking crew. And it's just Trump, by the way. It's not the Republican Party. The Republican Party is along for the ride. If I'm not a Republican or I'm not really conservative, generally, on some things I am, like, for example, on Second Amendment. But, Republicans don't realize that their existence is tied to Trump. They don't realize that. They think that they're a functioning party too. They're a lot more functioning than the Democratic Party, but that's not saying much. That's not saying much at all. Give me your thoughts below. I hereby demand and will do so officially tomorrow that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI and DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes. The answer is yes. You're looking at everyone exposed. Sally Yates. Sally Yates is a big one. Why did they go after General Michael Flynn? You're looking at Peter Strzok exposed even more. Peter Strzok right now, if you're Strzok at the FBI, this is what I would do. Very simple. I'm going to offer free legal and political advice. Okay? If you're Peter Strzok at the FBI, you go right down to the DOJ and you ask to speak to Jeff Sessions. And you tell him everything. Or actually, you just say, look, I'm willing to go ahead and strike a deal. Because Peter Strzok is in serious legal trouble. And he knows everything there is to know about Comey, about McCabe, and everything else. So you just say, look, it was a cover-up. And we did so through bureaucratic purposes. Through bureaucratic means. We thought there could be smoke or fire. Best case scenario, he actually believed there could be some Russia collusion, even though in one of the text messages he says there's nothing there. But just say, yeah, there was a push. There was a push to get Trump. I didn't like Trump. It was more than just a bias. There was a push, an actual push to get Trump, to hurt Trump politically, to infiltrate his campaign, to make sure there's an insurance policy. You go there and you say, I know what the insurance policy was. If you're Peter Strzok, you go to the Jeff Sessions. You say, I know what the insurance policy was. I wrote about it in my tweet. That's the tweet that everybody quotes. I'm willing to go ahead and strike a deal. Because guess who Comey and McCabe and all of them are going to undermine? People like Strzok. But nobody's going to listen. You think Strzok cares what I say? You think anyone at the FBI cares what I say? No. But you go ahead and you speak to Sessions. You need to go to speak to Jeff Sessions, not his assistant, not somebody at the DOJ, certainly not Rod Rosenstein. You speak to the guy in charge, and you tell him, look, I'm willing to play ball. Because if you're Peter Strzok, James Comey is going to undermine you in 2 seconds. James Comey is already with Andrew McCabe. You've got to be really pissed if you're Andrew McCabe. He hasn't. McCabe was as a formal criminal referral for McCabe, but James Comey is like, I'll testify. I'll testify against him. You want me to go testify against him? Call me. He's a great guy, though. Wonderful number 2. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to HA Second Amendment. Definitely check out my segment below of me enjoying, I think, one of the most beautiful handguns and one of the most beautiful revolvers in the world. A 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum 10.5-inch barrel. It is a joy to shoot because the weight and the and just how large the gun is, it soaks in all the recoil. Or not all, obviously you'll see in the video, but it's just really, really fun. Give me your thoughts below. The ammunition is not cheap, but give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and subscribe to HA's Second Amendment, and share my latest segment in the pinned comment regarding my enjoyment of the Second Amendment and me shooting a .500 Smith & Wesson Magnum revolver. Thank you so much for listening.